Hello and welcome back to the 10 Pint Podcast. We have something a bit different today. We have sort of like a charity episode with Jon Ripley, who's done the charity bike ride. I'd like to remind everyone, can you please like and subscribe if you will as well. We'll start off with, you want to talk a bit about the bike ride and any charities that you've supported?
It started on the 27th of July 2020 and we finished it on the 2nd of August 2020. And the starting point was Rotherham, where I'm from.
Yeah.
And it took 3.5 days to get to London's King's Cross and the same distance back. It was in aid of 4 causes. Walk and Talk, Alfie Lund Fund, Kick Mental Health and Kicking On. And 3 of the 4 causes are aimed at mental health, and the other is a family fund with Alfie's parents who try and help their son who's has a rare condition.
Yeah.
And money in total raised was £535 with many contributions and people through social media like yourself who appreciated it and shared it, and all money what's raised counts, and between all 4 causes it's gone a long way in supporting and helping people like Alfie and the other causes aims that are trying to set a message for people like myself, like you for example, to help spread the word on mental health and really trying to make the world a better place.
Yeah, it's very good that. What sort of inspired you then to do the bike ride?
It was an idea from another idea. For example, I've worked with Walk and Talk in the past.
Oh, okay.
And we did a walk in Scotland, and that was from Livingston to Celtic. Actually, no, sorry, it's Celtic to Livingston, sorry.
Yeah.
And Lee, who's the organiser and creator of Walk and Talk, had an idea of doing a bike ride from England to Scotland, and unfortunately with today's circumstances we weren't able to do it. So I thought, you know what, obviously they've helped me in dark times and I've contributed and all this and that, and give back to what they, helping other people like myself. And 2 weeks before we set out, there were supposed to be 5 of us who were supposed to be going on this ride.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, furlough ended for them, so they had to go back to work. So
Oh, really? Yeah.
I took the week off work and thought, you know what, we've raised £150 so far before we even started. So I thought, you know what, get on with it. And then it's, you look back at it as a future reference and a good deed for what we've aimed to do. So that's it really. So
How long was the ride then? So you started off in Rotherham?
Yeah, started from Rotherham, and we had pit stops in Nottingham, Leicester, Milton Keynes, and then on the way back we did 80 miles in one day, and that was Milton Keynes to Nottingham to kill mileage on the way back.
Yeah.
And there were a lot of people stopping you and asking you where you're from and why you're doing this, how come, what's this, what's that, and all this and that. And if you sit down and somebody's interested in your story, for example, like you lot today, really makes that much difference. And it had a lot of social media interaction.
Yeah.
And it was good to see football teams and the causes and just individuals and just random people in the country and out of the country to appreciate what somebody's doing in their free time. So I think that's the best way I can answer it, really.
Yeah.
I seen something the other day about, like, that you tagged us in about, like, football therapy, stuff like that.
Yeah, I think there's people who are trying to, there's more than one charity doing the same this, same that, and that's like, let's say, for example, Tom Moore's story, that raised millions for the NHS, and people thought, oh, he's going to do the bike ride for NHS. And you can't really just focus on one main thing to raise money for. So I thought, you know what, other people are losing future contributions. And I thought, you know what, share it out, make most of what you've got. And I think that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to help. I think they're a football team, and they're trying to help people like, let's say somebody who's got serious mental health issues and doesn't know if anybody's going to help them or anything, and they pick them up, and they could be the best footballer in the world. They just don't know, and it takes time and people's effort to change them and mould them and do what they can. So, you know, if you contribute to them and they contribute to somebody else, and that's what really makes a difference.
Yeah. So where can you go and donate then? Is it still open, like the page?
There was a deadline, unfortunately, because of set dates. I don't think the GoFundMe like to drag it on with the idea and stuff. And for what was raised, 535 is, I think, more than 500.
Which was that the aim, was it?
Yeah, that was the aim target, and it was like I said, the main aim was 500, but then when it goes over, that's a different story. And the more you raise, the more, I think, in the difference you're going to make for other people. So
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's the best way.
So do you want to talk a little bit about like each individual charity then? Sort of like why you chose them?
Walk and Talk was the idea first off, because obviously I've worked with them before and they've done a lot for me, and I've contributed a lot of time and effort for them with walking around England and Scotland. And the other charities, like I said, they all roll around the same subject.
Yeah.
And Kick Mental Health and Kicking On are Scotland-based charities, so they're like the Walk and Talk version of Scotland.
Yeah.
Walk and Talk was a charity, obviously, and I've worked with them most out of all of them.
Yeah.
And they walk from one football ground to another, and they do a lot for what I think in the long run for people like myself, or let's say for you, for example, or just anybody in general. Keep Mental Health is the same scenario. We worked with them when we went to Scotland, and they're aiming to make, you know, a good impact, which they have done. And that's same with Kicking On. Kicking On's more of a city-based charity that just focuses on certain areas.
Yeah.
For like people like to get them into football and charity matches and this and that. And the Arthur Fund is a family-based fund, because his parents have to sacrifice work to keep, you know, supportive of their son, and it takes a lot of time and effort, and you have to, you know, think of, oh, they've got bills to pay, they've got work to do, and, you know, it must be hard. And obviously as he gets older, it's going to be more tough for them as they get older. And you know, you've got you listen to the story, and it's quite touching, and it's a shame they come today, but you know, you've raised money for him, and I think that's best you can do. So if you don't know him or you can't see him, and you've raised money for them, and that just helps them in the long run. So because they've got mortgages, like I said, they got bills and stuff, and you know, it's an impact for them and obviously for him. So I think that's best way of describing each.
They're on like social media, like Twitter, Instagram.
Yeah, I came across all of them on Twitter, and you know, I think Twitter's a big platform for interaction and stuff, and I think that's how I come across 10th Pint podcast. And so yeah, I think, so like I said, Twitter is a big social platform, and I think it really helps to expose, because you've got hashtags and famous people who've got massive followings and stuff, and I think it really makes a difference with social media.
Yeah.
So I think
So can you
That's-
donate at all charities like you've just mentioned, like via social media?
On their Twitter, they have their own GoFundMe and their own websites and stuff like that. And I think bands have like helped Alfie Lund Fund. I think is it Callow Youth. I don't know if you know that band.
Yeah.
They try and do their part, and football grounds and teams and stuff. They all try and do contributions for Walk and Talk. As like, let's say they did walk from Chesterfield to Notts County, and Notts County as a contribution reward for doing what they did, they gave them free tickets for the match, and they gave them an opportunity to walk around at half time and stuff. And I think that's what really makes a difference. And then you have Premier League clubs that do the same for them, and Kick Mental Health. They I think that's through word of mouth on Twitter and stuff, and kicking on as well. So I think it really makes a difference from, I think, let's say you're from a small town, you want to expose yourself, and you go into big city and stuff, and you get your word, you get the word around, and I think it really picks it up for what they're trying to do. So I think,
So talking of football, who do you support then?
I support Rotherham United.
How are you doing at the moment?
Well, the Championship's come back, which is a good thing for Rotherham fans and stuff. And we did well on Saturday, 1-0 win at Wickham away. So we've got I think a steady team. We've got some good signings, I think, from what we've got through the transfer window and stuff. And not a big follower, but I do like to see what other teams are doing. For example, like Northampton Town, Notts County, and all this and that, and National League, Sunday League. And I think with what we've got with coronavirus, Sunday League should be booming with attendance.
Yeah.
But I think people kind of miss the atmosphere of thousands of people and stuff. But I think that's how they've grown up to watch it, and you got to appreciate other teams as well as your own team. So I think we'll stay up this season. I think we'll get top 15 at most, and we've got quite a few Yorkshire derbies and stuff. So
Who are the derbies?
Barnsley, Huddersfield, and Sheffield Wednesday, and Middlesbrough.
What, Middlesbrough?
Yeah,
Is that not far, is it no?
That's I think near Leeds.
Yeah.
So it's quite a big trek. So, but we've got quite some tough teams. We've got Millwall and Brentford and Forest, and I think what we can achieve this season, I think the chairman and the board have set I think top 15, I think, or stay up. But we've got a really good manager who's a former player.
Yeah.
And he's done well. He's got a relegation, he's got 2 promotions, and he's got real passion and drive for the club, in my opinion. And he's took us to Wembley. We've won at Wembley, and we nearly won the championship, League One. But we've lost on points per game, so we lost to Coventry. So
Have they been involved in by any chance Rotherham with the whole charity work or that type of
there
thing?
were possibility of having the event in a programme or on the website, but unfortunately, because of the matches being called off and no programmes being produced or anything, I'm not sure on that one, but there were possibilities.
Yeah.
But I don't think it'll go through. But the local paper acknowledged it, which is nice, and it got on the radio. So I think that was more than what you can ask for, really. You can't just go around begging. So I think for what's been achieved, I think we got more than what we bargained for. So you can't have everything, but you got what you're given. So I think that's the best way to put it.
You just mentioned you're into your grassroots and Sunday League and that. Do you go and watch that often? Is it just because of coronavirus you're going?
I think because my mates, we all live in different parts of Rotherham. Obviously, they all went to uni and stuff, and they all spaced out in Leeds and Sheffield and Nottingham and stuff. And we all went to different games, but we see like away games at like Leeds and stuff and Nottingham and all that. And recently, just I won't say discovered it, but got into the Sunday League football, and we've got many teams. But I didn't know all the pubs in Rotherham have teams, so it's quite a mixture of this, that, and the other. So you got to decide who you're going to see every week. And I think if you support one, you're missing out on all the rest of them. So I like to mix it up a bit. So, but in my look of football, I usually miss the goals. So.
I remember we went to Arsenal away and you went to Turley.
I missed both goals.
Missed both goals. Conceded, like.
Yeah.
Conceded.
Yeah.
To be fair, I reckon with this coronavirus and that, you know, with like Sunday League football, I reckon it's going to pop a rise, like the attendances, like, like our mates went to one the other day. Our mate plays for the under-18s for our local side, Bootle. There's like about 200 people there on like a Wednesday night.
But I think if, like, let's say Rotherham United's in the top, what is it, the top tier or whatever it's called, they're down at the bottom of the pyramid, we'd be allowed to watch them, but because they're in the Championship, they don't want to risk sharing the disease or whatever it's called, the virus. So it's a bit of a disappointment, but because we've got some good games, we've got Watford on a Tuesday night and Wednesday on a Wednesday night away and all this and that, and we know we're going to lose, but it's just a shame we can't watch it. So I'm hoping we get Liverpool in FA Cup next year. So
Would you go to Anfield, would you?
Yeah, it's a day out. We played Man City last year away and we lost 6-0, but we sold it out. I think we took like 8,000 and they just didn't sing at all. But you know, it's once in a lifetime. If let's say Messi went to Man City and they're playing Sheffield United this season, you would have seen Messi for like 30 quid. So
yeah,
you know, it's one of those opportunities you can't give up. So
yeah.
What have you been doing today? Because obviously you came down from like Rotherham.
Yeah, a bit of sightseeing.
Where did you go?
The Cavern Club, although it's closed, stand outside.
It's closed, yeah.
Yeah, I think is it the Sergeant Pepper pub next door that was open, so I think that was best, probably closest you're gonna get to Cavern Club. So the accents are quite different from where I'm from. So but like going back to Ride, we went to like Hertfordshire, which is quite posh.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know Hertfordshire now. Where like Carlin's £4.20 a pint, and that's cheap. That's like the cheapest drink they've got there. So, but then they stop you and they'd ask you like, oh, why you going to London, for example, or you're not from around here, your accent sounds different. So, I think that's, you know, they could tell you're not from there, and you know they took the time to, you know, ask you where you're from and this and that, and bringing a bike into a pub. That's quite a strange one from what they've seen. So yeah, there are a few accidents, few incidents going to London with a pole. So coming down the A6 to Leicester, and we're coming through Loughborough. And this is near where you're from, so I don't know if do you know Loughborough? Yeah. Oh dear. And there's like a bus stop and a post, and I don't know why they're so close. And from far away, coming down the hill, they're quite far. But when you're coming 15 miles an hour, it starts to go smaller. And thinking I could make the gap. Kind of crashed. And I was lucky not to break my left leg, so it was nice to people that stopped on the country road and were like, oh, you all right, this and that, and yeah. So they got talking and they was like, oh, I could tell you're not from here. And I was like, no. He was like, where are you from? I said, Rotherham. And he goes, oh, I know Rotherham. We we played Rotherham years ago, Loughborough FC or something like that. And he took time for about 25 minutes to have a good conversation and stuff. And he acknowledged and this and that. And he shared it on Twitter, funny enough. And, you know, it's strange. Obviously, parents thought it was a crazy idea to do this and to go on my own and get sunburned and lost and this and that. So the first day rained, obviously going to Nottingham through Mansfield.
Yeah.
And then as the week progressed, it got hotter and hotter. So it got quite bad sunburn on both hands. I don't know if you can see it, but it was a good experience because it's hard to describe something when you're focused on something to get there and back.
Yeah.
And, you know, you've got £15 worth of clothes on your back and for a week, and you can't just rely on your parents to come running out everywhere and swapping this, swapping that, and they've got work in the morning. And we had like an incident with I think my front wheel. And my parents had to drive all the way to Leicester just to change it to go back again. And, it was crazy. And to say we were in lockdown, it weren't really in lockdown, and I think that's what annoyed some people and stuff. And went to Luton, I think it's called, and people there have got average attitudes and you should be on the road, you shouldn't be on the pavement, and busy bus lanes and all this and that. So it was really a good experience. You know, if you didn't do it, you won't see sights what you saw, for example, and like this, I won't be doing this without turning up. So it's one of those things where you look at life and think, I'm making a difference. You might not think it at the time, but as time goes on, you know, with all money raised, it changes quite a few lives, you know.
Yeah.
And after the result, a lot of people were appreciated and stuff, and BBC Radio Sheffield plugged it, and that were embarrassing, listening to my own voice, and family and friends listening to it. So
did you have to do an interview for them, did you?
Yeah, it was a live broadcast, so it was quite embarrassing, because we've all got proper Yorkshire accents. I don't know if I've got a proper one or anything, but
yeah, it's a dead strong one.
Yeah, strong one. Yeah. And obviously we were in Hertfordshire at the time, and there's people like turning around listening to like, is he on the radio? This and that, and a guy had it on driving past, and I could hear my voice in background, which was a bit embarrassing. So got home and they were like, oh yeah, we heard you on the radio, you've done this, you've done that, and have you offended anybody? So it was nice to see it in local paper, and we had to have a photo shoot, and they picked worst photograph out of them. So overall experience, I think, was quite a good one. And we've got 2 more planned. We've got a coast to coast one in December, and we've got Scotland in January. But I think that'll be a 4-week bike ride, because I think it's like 700-mile trip or something.
700 miles?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's Scotland, and snow and rain.
Snow and rain, yeah. It's a nice country, but there's loads of rubbish on the roads, which is a shame. But, you know, Scottish people, I think, in my opinion, are quite nice.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I think, unless you piss them off. But I think, I think night out over there is quite good. I'd never left England until I went to Scotland, so it's a good experience. And you could tell you went from there with the accent. So, you know, they were dead friendly and stuff. And I think, because I think Celtic plugged the Walk and Talk, the Walk and Talk walk. And I think that were a big shock for the guy who did Walk and Talk, who created it, Lee. Because Celtic have got a big following or something like that, because they're the biggest club in Scotland.
Yeah, they're in Rangers and massive.
Yeah, they're in Rangers. And I think obviously you give time for somebody, they give it back, and it works both ways. So I think that's all I can say on that one.
How far was your bike ride then, from Rotherham to London?
On the way, or all in total?
Like all together, how many miles was that?
375 miles.
Oh my god.
To say we only did a 30-mile bike ride a week before.
Yeah.
From Castleton to my house. I got cold, crazy, mad.
Did you have to do loads of training for it and that then?
Well, it's quite tough with my job, with the hours I do, and it's quite an active job, walking around all day. And I think I told my manager, and he was like, I don't believe you. And then a week later, I took a week off work and come back, and I got sunburned hands, sunburned nose and neck and face. And it was like, oh, what have you been doing? And I showed him the pictures and stuff, and he still didn't believe me, which is quite funny.
Yeah.
But, you have to be there to believe it, see it to believe it. And for what we saw on way with canals, pubs, sunsets, and people and stuff, it was, I think, worth the struggle and the stress. And because on the ride from Milton Keynes to Nottingham, which was 80 miles, we set off at 8:30 in the morning and got to Nottingham for 2 a.m.
Oh my!
And then back up at 8:30. So after about 3 days, I think my back was starting to feel the strain, the pressure and stuff, and it's kind of hard talking about it, to be fair. You just focus on mission and stuff. And so I thought, I'll do Nottingham, then Leicester, then London. But Leicester, London, 100 miles. I was like, don't think so. So yeah, we saw a lot of stuff, a lot of wild animals and stuff, and it's quite, if you're doing that, you're supposed to have training for months, and you gotta eat well and sleep well and stuff. And if you just focus and stuff and have a conversation with yourself and just try and focus, I think you'll get on with it. But when you're going on A roads and near M1, it's a different story. So it's not like I've been chased on the bike or anything. So that was one thing.
Did everyone finish it? Like you done it with?
Well, in the end, it just turned out to be just me. So
I finished.
I did it all on my own. So to say there was supposed to be 5 of us, it ended up with just me starting it and finishing it. So
also, were you by yourself for all that time?
It's quite nice, but a lot of people wanted to get involved, and we all live in different parts of town and stuff, and then you have to wait for them to come round to your house, and if they get a puncture, you have to all wait and stuff, and if you're all eating, they all order at different times and toilet breaks and stuff. And if you're on your own, you can just focus, and just get on with it and stuff. And I think, although it was a dangerous mission, I think that's the Bear Grylls on bike or something stupid. So, I think that's the best way of putting it. And if you go on your own, you can prove it to yourself, and then everything's on you to start it and finish it. And it's like a band, isn't it? You have to have a front man to lead the band and stuff, and it's just how it goes with weather-wise and fitness-wise and stuff. And once you get over it and stuff, that's it,
What music are you into? So kind of like bands and that?
Well, it's a mixture, really. Me and my 4 cousins grew up around my grandparents quite a bit. Obviously, my parents aren't together. So we kind of got a mixture of my grandparents' music from back in the day and stuff, and my mum's music, my dad's music, and obviously they're all born in different eras, different times. So it was like a big mixture of like rock and roll crossed with madness and Beatles and all sorts of stuff, and obviously as we got older, went to college, and all my schoolmates all went to different colleges and stuff, and our friendship group from college all consisted of different schools. And as we all got older, we went to football matches. That's how I started getting to Rotherham United and stuff. and we ended up going to gigs all around country, London, Nottingham, Sheffield, Liverpool, just here, there and everywhere.
Yeah.
So we have quite a big genre of music. We saw Jake Bug. I don't know if you know Jake Bug.
Yeah.
I saw him at Leeds. I didn't know he was like same age as me, but he's knocking on a bit now. So we saw, is it the Snuts or something like that? I don't know.
The Snuts.
Yeah,
Scottish band.
Yeah, is it a Scottish band?
Yeah.
I saw them in Sheffield. That's quite a long way for them from Scotland for one night.
We seen them in Leeds, and I was like on the BBC introduction stage, and I was like 40 people there. But you seen them the other day, didn't you?
Yeah, I seen them at one of them socially distanced gigs in Newcastle the other week.
Oh yeah, Inhaler. I don't know if you know them.
Yeah. It's Bono's son, isn't it?
Yeah, Irish band, something like that. Yeah, but like all these bands from like Scotland and Ireland with these accents, and then when they sing completely different. It's like with Liverpool band Beatles, they all have like the Liverpudlian accents, but when they sing, they sound like they're from out of this world.
Yeah.
So, and then you've got me with rubbish accent, but for gigs like in Sheffield, everybody from Rotherham goes to Sheffield. Nobody from Sheffield goes, oh, we'll have a night out in Rotherham. But yeah, we try with music scene in Rotherham, and I think it's more of a take your parents out for a day trip. So money's in Sheffield, I think, and it's like the lower tier of London, for music scene, and it's just really, I think with what I've grown up with my parents and grandparents, I've been exposed to all this music, and you try and see these bands if they're still going, or people associated with stuff like that, and I think closest you'll get to see is Beatles is like Paul McCartney or something like that, and I think that'll be closest you'll get, and it's kind of hard to describe, but end of the day, I've had a good childhood and stuff like that, and with my parents and stuff, and they all live in the same town and all this and that, and growing up listening to all that music and stuff, and I think that's, if you have a good childhood and a good growing up life in college and mates and stuff, it really reflects on your future. Yeah. And I think that's best way of putting it, in my opinion.
Do you like Arctic Monkeys then, if you're from Yorkshire?
Arctic Monkeys from Sheffield, but I quite like them. They're quite good then.
Yeah.
Who else from Sheffield? Reverend and the Makers.
Reverend and the Makers. Yeah, we were supposed to see them in Leeds.
Pulp, yeah.
Yeah, and they had to. Obviously, everybody's cancelled the tours and stuff. And got to see them next year, so I think that'll be a good one to look forward to, in my opinion.
Yeah,
so.
definitely.
What about yourself? What bands are you two into?
Yeah, I'll let you have this one, Luke, first.
We'll talk about the local bands first.
Local bands.
Obviously, we've just had Joe from Ratson, Mason, Kairos, Cheap Thrills, The Sway. Interviewed a lad from Newcastle, Andrew Cushion. Who else do we like? Don't want to leave anyone. Mr. Dean's, The Night Cafe.
Oh, yeah.
So there's quite, like, I'd say in Liverpool at the minute, it's quite a big music scene for, like, bands at the minute, so I'd say, like, I'm big into all them. But in terms of, like, bigger bands, like, I'm into, like, Blossoms myself. They had the new album come out this year.
I got to see Blossoms, I think it was last year. I saw them in Lincoln. I don't know if you know Lincoln.
Yeah.
It's a weird city, Lincoln. But I think it was the Engine Shed. It's like a big student, it's like Leeds Beckett student union. And people queue up for like half an hour for a pint, and they just end up lobbing it. And
Someone's mentioned Lincoln to us, saying they proper appreciate it, like the small towns. I'm sure it was
Joe last week,
from Rots.
Yeah. But it's strange because, like, one side it's music scene, and then you have like the football ground on the other end. Yeah. And it's just different on that side of the river and that side. So it's strange. I went one time to see Blossoms, and they were absolutely good, absolutely incredible. And we saw the football this year, well, last season, and we beat them 1-0. They weren't happy. you could tell the atmosphere is different because it's a sport. It's a different thing entirely, and they've got really passionate fans.
Don't they have a siren when there's a corner?
Something
Lincoln.
like that, yeah.
We beat Lincoln last year, didn't we?
4-2.
They got a big following to say they're in League One, and we went on a Friday night and it was sold out, absolutely madness. And to say we're supposed to hate them because it's Battle of the Roses or something like that because it's Yorkshire versus Lincolnshire.
Yeah.
The fan base incredible. Friday night football incredible. 7:45 till 9:30, and then a few younger generation like to wait outside and pretend they're hard. And, I think it was a good game. They beat us away at home, and we beat them at their ground. So, end of the day, it was a win-win situation for each team. But we went up, they stayed down. So, but either way, I think music scene in general is getting better now. As you talked about, is it Newcastle and the out gigs or what they're called?
Yeah, so there's been socially distanced gig come back, hasn't there? Yeah, so I went one the other week. I went to see the Libertines. And they were supported by...
Are they still going?
Yeah. Tell you what, they looked a lot older, the Libertines. That Pete Howard, he looked like he'd aged about 10 years. But it was weird going back to a gig like a few weeks ago, like socially distanced. It was it was a lot better than I thought it would be. It was a lot easier to get like bevies in and all that. It didn't have no fucking bucket at starting on you over nothing.
I can't even remember going to them now. Gigs and that, like even football matches.
Yeah,
like,
it's
it looks weird
going back
you
in
see
it.
people in the crowd on highlights like ages ago and that. It's like...
It's like my mum likes Oasis and my dad can't stand them.
No, we love Oasis.
Yeah,
You've seen Liam, how many times have you seen Liam Gallagher? About 20.
No, I've only seen him twice.
Have you?
Yeah.
No,
That's it.
More than that. I've seen him twice.
No, I've only seen him twice, lads.
Yeah, we went to Ireland to see Liam Gallagher and Jerry Cinnamon. You went to him, Jerry Cinnamon?
He was supposed to play Sheffield this year, and we got a ticket for him, but sadly it's been pushed to next year.
Yeah.
And we had Liam Gallagher played same Sheffield Arena this year.
Yeah.
And there were a flare gone off in crowd or something, on news and stuff.
I think I remember seeing that.
Yeah. And she did. It was before gig, and this woman had got burned or something.
Yeah.
And this was before gig. Basically, she just walked in, got burned, and then she had to go, and she didn't even get to see any at gig.
Yeah.
And I remember somebody put a tweet out before the gig, and they said, "Oh, Liam, will they be allowed any pyro or any flares?" And he goes, "Bring the pyro." Bring it now. And then obviously that happened, and he's not really set a good example.
Yeah.
But if it's a Saturday or Friday night, what do you expect? So
That's just unfortunate, isn't it?
Yeah. I think there were about 25,000 people there, and this massive flame going up in air, and I don't think Sheffield Arena were happy, but but he draws the money in, so he's done I think he's an NHS free gig.
Oh yeah, I see.
For the NHS workers, but obviously that's been rescheduled, which is a shame. But they've done a lot of work and stuff, and you got to acknowledge it and all that, and other things. So, but I think half at nurse and doctors be like 90 hours a week. Liam Gallagher gig. So some of them might like Oasis, some of them might not, but
it's about raising money though, isn't it?
Yeah, that's exactly
for it, like whether you like them or not.
Yeah.
Like.
So end of the day, obviously Tom Moore set a record and all this and that, and I didn't really think Bike Rise should be like that. I didn't want the popularity or like that. I don't think he did, because obviously he did it for so long, and then people started bothering him and stuff, and he might have lost track, he might not have, but end of the day, people acknowledged what he was doing, like mine, for example, with radio and newspapers and stuff, and it's a shame, like, we go from you've raised all this money, and then they take a commission off. Obviously, if they want to make money, they want to make money, but
who actually takes the commission off? Like,
I think it's
given or
not. because I use GoFundMe for mine, and they have a commission at the start. If somebody wants to bid money, donate money, they put like a little catch on. So unless you take that catch off, they add 25% of what you're donating.
That's bad, though.
Yeah, so then they make a bit of money. I don't know if they can be asked to get a real job, but and then it's sad that they take money off you at the end of the day, as a commission or whatever it's called. And let's say obviously Tom Moore raised 30 million, and if you work it out, you'll probably get commissioned probably 2 or 3, so he'll end up with 27. But what he's done, he's probably not really bothered, but they might not have covered that, unless they were happy enough not to take the money off him. But I get it, they're a business to make the money back on stuff.
Yeah, shouldn't be though, should it?
To pay the workers and all that. But if you've got a successful business like that, you shouldn't really do that. But it's a shame. But either way, 27 million for NHS is quite a bit of money. But
It is marvellous what he's done, like, isn't it?
Oh yeah. To say he was it 100 laps or something like that.
Yeah, like at his age as well, especially.
Yeah, and then they've kind of ITV and BBC have milked him a bit, but with programs and books and stuff and interviews. If he didn't do it, he'd just be sat on his arse, I think. But, if he's going to push and be an influencer, then he's setting his mark in for people who want to do it, who are same age or aiming to do more than that. So I don't think you're going to see Tom Moore walk into London and back. So it's like Liam Gallagher. He sets the bar to try and be top performer. So I think like Libertines and then Oasis are like the next Libertines and stuff, or I don't know who came before or who came after, but each band set out to make a mark and try and up one over years with other bands and stuff. And like with Snuts, I thought it was like Lewis Capaldi in a backing band, but completely different people. So
do you like Lewis Capaldi?
Yeah, he's quite good. Going back to the accents with people, he's got a strong accent, but when he sings, the accent's lost completely. So
it's mad, isn't it?
It's crazy. I don't know if that happens with Liverpool people like yourself. I don't know if you want to sing and then drop a note.
Burst into song, no.
Burst into song.
Nog een mics will break.
So, I don't know if there's any bands from Barnsley, but they've got quite strong Yorkshire accents.
Yeah.
But you have like the bands from Sheffield and stuff, and I think if you make it in perform at Leadmill, which is like the main Sheffield venue, I think you've got a chance. I think Arctic Monkeys played there. It's like Cabin Club.
Yeah. They sound, when they sing, especially on the early albums, they sound like they're from Sheffield.
Yeah.
Accent and that.
Because I think they're trying to do a comeback home gigs next year, something like that, at Hillsborough Park, but it'll sell out. But I think it might just be for that, like Oasis one-offs or the Smiths or something like that.
Yeah.
So if you get offered money, like I think Liam and Noel got offered 100 million to reunite for like a one-off or something. You don't just do it for money, do you? You do it for fans and stuff. And like, let's say you two fight over something and end up breaking it up, and you come back for passion and drive, and not just because people keep begging you and stuff. And
you couldn't come back for the money anyway. Cause you
exactly.
Don't
Exactly. So. So that's like with bands and stuff. If you fall out, you fall out, don't you?
Yeah.
But obviously, I've not been in that situation, so I can't really comment. But it's like mates, you fall out, don't get back together, but you end up talking and stuff, and that's like our college. We all had a group, and we all ended up splitting up, but we ended up going out in like Leeds, Newcastle, and stuff, and I think that's what where life takes you, really. You're like,
Yeah.
I don't know if are you going to the same universities now?
I don't go uni.
Oh, so as you get older and stuff, and I think that's the best way of describing it.
Yeah, well, how things work out like with mates and that, innit? 'Cause like me and him went to the same school, but in school me and you didn't speak, did we?
I know, the good old days. I mean,
Yeah. Well, it's just mad, innit? Like as you get older, like
Yeah.
you just sort of like meet loads of people, don't you?
Is there any more questions then? Before we
Yeah.
wrap it up?
Oh yeah, we always finish on what's your favourite pint?
Ooh, that's quite a tough one. I'm more of a social drinker, so but I think what we have in Yorkshire is probably Carling.
Carling.
I think Colesberg's all right. Is it Foster's? That's average, but we make quite a few people laugh at pub because my mates from school like to just go in pub and buy a cup of tea and sit down. So they thought we were joking and stuff, and then he comes out with tray and all these 5 cups of tea. So yeah, it's just it just depends. Go to matches, you have a few before game, don't you, and cry if you lose. So you know, you go on all these travelling and away games and stuff, and you know that's like the best way you're gonna go out with your mates and stuff is you get older and you end up taking your kids and stuff. And I don't know if you've got kids now.
Well,
Not yet. Not yet.
yeah, hopefully for not a few years. Like,
So yeah, my grandparents go to games and my parents weren't bothered. That's why I probably got just left at home when I was younger. But you know, stuff like that. So my granddad's mad on football, and
yeah,
we go to wrestling and gigs and stuff. And my grandparent, my dad's just not arsed on football. He watched Sheffield Wednesday and he says it was just boring. But you know, he watched Sheffield Wednesday, so what do you expect? So he just, you know, it's just how it is, and depends how you grow up, where you grow up, and who your football team is. So I don't know if you'd support Tranmere or anything, but no.
I
Exactly.
Everton we are.
yeah,
Because we were supposed to play them away on a Monday night last season
yeah.
here, but unfortunately we didn't get to do that, so missed out on the big Liverpool session. So. But we've had quite a few interesting away games, results and stuff, and I think that's obviously you have a good time, and it's like we're going to play Bournemouth this year. If we get to go, it's like 8-hour round trip.
Yeah.
If we win, we win, but it's very, very rare. But I think they're a good team. Barnsley did the great escape last season by beating Forest and Brentford, and we're playing them this year, and I think they saved it for next year so we can go and enjoy a derby and stuff. And it's just a train from Rotherham, and you know, it'll be a good derby in my opinion.
Yeah.
But I think apart from that, I think in general travelling and stuff's really worth it, even if it costs you quite a bit of money. But well, that's what it is. You go to work, you get your wages, you spend it and cry. But that's it. So, I don't know if you do that.
Yeah,
we just cry from the result.
yeah. Like we've started going more to the away games the last few years, and it's good. They're just good times, aren't they? Like even when, like it's been some when we've got beat, when they've been better than ones when we've won. You know what I mean? It's just been more of a laughter day and that. Like, but yeah, they are great away days. Like, best times.
So we got a mate who we met in college, and he was born in Sheffield, lives in Rotherham, but he's a Leeds fan. It's like what a combination. And it's just one of them things. So. Regardless who you support, your mates are your mates, aren't they? So you just bully them when you play football. So like we played Leeds, and we all sat in different stands. So that's just how it is.
Yeah.
Some of the grounds are quite good. Bolton, West Brom. I don't know, have you been to West Brom?
No, I've never been West Brom. No.
Oh, it's quite an impressive ground. But
yeah.
We sold one of our players to West Brom, and he made his debut yesterday in Premier League, and although they lost 3-0, but he's on better wages now. So, you know, end of the day, you don't want to sell a player, but you got to think of his future and stuff. And I think in the long run, he's been supportive of the club. He's scored goals and stuff, and stays a centre back. He ran the entire pitch and scored against Leeds, which is a mad accomplishment. But he's got a good future, I think. And I say he's gone from 3,000 to 30,000. He won't complain. So, yeah. What about yourself? Do you enjoy watching football in general?
Yeah. Well, I enjoy watching Everton.
Yeah.
No, we already do. Yeah, it's not the same without the fans, though. I don't think.
Yeah, like yesterday we won at Spurs, and that's the first time we beat a team in the top six since 2013.
It's my 13th birthday.
Yeah,
I'm 20 soon.
And then it's the first time we beat Spurs away since 2008, and then not being there, it's just like very anticlimactic.
I know, because we would have been there.
Yeah, I know. It is what it is.
You played Liverpool a few months ago or something like that, where Pickford pushed it back into play and then they scored.
Yeah, it was like a few years back now, you know, but it's not mentioned.
Very embarrassing. So, but I think it's strange because Everton never get in top 5, but Jordan Pickford, when he plays for England, he's more focused because he's got more drive to win a World Cup or a Nations League or just in general friendly. But I think Dean Henderson will do well in England, I think. And to say he's a Man U loanee to Sheffield United, he's on good money, and even if they're crap one day, he's 100k a week money in it. So, but we complain he's on too much money, but if we're him, we won't complain. So that's how it is. Football, you get hate, you get love and stuff, and that's just how it is. So you get the fans at our end, oh, he's crap, and then when he scores, oh, we support him from day one. But so I think Everton might get top 5, but
let's hope.
It depends.
Fingers crossed.
So, yeah, you got a newish manager, so
good manager though.
Good manager, yeah. So yeah, I think Brentford will go up this year to Premier League, and Forest were robbed by a point.
So you seen that last game of the season, didn't they? They got like a 6-goal swing, weren't it? And they dropped out the playoffs.
Crazy. But I think Barnsley were favourites to get relegated, but they somehow scraped it. But end of the day, we've got something to look forward to in long run, and we're going to play Barnsley, and Hull went down, but we've got Middlesbrough and we ain't got Leeds, but who wants Leeds anyway? But so yeah, we got Forest to look forward to, and their ground's all right, but it's just cold. It's a cold ground to sit in, and I don't know if you've been to Nottingham Forest now.
A few times when I was a kid.
Oh, when he was a kid, he don't support him now. If it's free, go for it.
Yeah.
So yeah. So, but then obviously we all have different jobs now, and as we've all got older, we've left uni and college, and becomes harder to go out and stuff. And half my mates from school have got like kids now, and I don't know how they get time. But one of them from college, he's got a missus and a kid, and he goes, "Oh, I can't play football. I ain't got £3, but you can spend £300 a season ticket." But that's football for you, innit? So. But, you know, Rotherham, I think, in general, is a good club. You know, we've got a good ground. People from all over have come to ground and enjoyed the atmosphere.
Yeah.
But we had, like, Swansea come up last couple of seasons ago. They somehow come to Rotherham at 6 in the morning and a 3 o'clock kick-off, and there's no to do in Rotherham for 7 hours, but... They just somehow spend all day in Wetherspoons, and I don't know how you can do it for 7 hours, but they lost anyway. Well, we sent them home. So, you know, it's if you go with your family, you go with your family, and that's another thing. And if you go with your mates, it's a mate experience and stuff. And you know, if you just go with somebody in general, you know. Obviously, I used to work at Rotherham and a few other grounds as like stewarding and stuff, just for free games, you know, save some money. But that took us to like Old Trafford and
Yeah.
got to see him play PSG in Champions League and top at away end at PSG fans screaming and stuff. And you know, it's crazy how they pay 50 quid and then they pay flights and trains and stuff, and
Yeah.
they end up ripping seats out and lobbing them, and it's a massacre. But just stand there and you can't do out, and you don't want to do anything because you just want to watch the game. You want to see you know, Rashford play and Neymar and is it Di Maria and stuff.
Yeah.
And then all managers get arse on because you just stood there watching games. You know, it gets boring after a while seeing all the same grounds and matches and stuff. And well, then people miss you because you know you were there and you let them stand in gateways and stuff, and other people won't let you do that, and they kind of like, oh well, you come back and let us stand here and stuff, and you know you get appreciated and stuff. And when you get there, oh, it's that guy who used to work here and this and that, and there used to be a group of us and now we've all left and stuff, and you know you kind of miss the experience, you know. And same with football not being, you know, watchable in attending and stuff. And I think we what Sunday League's on offer, I think that's going to be best option.
Yeah, definitely.
And then you got people like, oh, I don't want to stand next to random people and stuff. And like other week we watched a Sunday League game and it started raining. Second half I went home and I missed 12 goals. So so yeah. But as you like take, let's say, photographs and videos at matches and stuff, you have YouTubers and that, and some of them, some of the Sunday League teams like got involved with promoting the bike ride in general, and you get asked if you want to come to this game, that game, just to do a bit of social media because they can't pay for that social media team. I don't know if you get paid for doing this, but no,
No.
tight budget, but yeah, they appreciate what you're doing and stuff, and people have used like stuff I've recorded and stuff, and for like YouTube and Facebook and Twitter and stuff, and I'm still waiting to get into programs, but but it's just nice to be appreciated. And like I said, we took videos at Rotherham matches, Sunday League matches, and like Boston United matches and stuff like that, and it's just nice, you know, to be appreciated and stuff. And like BBC Sheffield, they put me on air on interview to do with Bike Ride, and that, I think that had like 15,000 listeners and stuff, and it's just embarrassing, you know. But you don't know that till after they broadcasted it. So like the advertiser, that I think like 5,000-6,000 people buy that every week, and probably just miss my page. But you know, it's just nice that if you email them, text them, ring them up and ask them if they bothered to plug your story, then they like, oh yeah, it's local and this and that, and you know, it's interesting for them to cover a story because they've got something to write about, and it gets word around. And I think that's what made the money rise up over time with contributions and stuff. And like for yourself, you lot shared it on Twitter and stuff, and just loads of bands. I think the Rat singer who you interviewed, he shared it, I think, and some other bands. I'm not sure from Liverpool, but I think Yorkshire bands and stuff, and football clubs all around country and out of country, and I think Callow Youth plugged it, I think, and stuff like that. So you know, if you have them in mind, they'll have you in mind for stuff, and you know, it's not a one-way street. So I think that's best way to wrap up that subject. So, so it was a good experience overall, and it raised more money than I expected, and I think it was a worthy adventure.
Yeah, it's really good of you to like do that bike ride and all that and raise money, and like, do you know what I mean? I have a lot of respect for you and for doing that. It's really good.
That's one thing. What was really strange, because you aim to do like for example, you to do this
Yeah.
every episode, and then end of the day somebody shares it because it starts trending, and you end up losing focus and stuff, and
Yeah.
you're like, oh, I can't believe this, can't believe that, and it's like going back to Tom Moore, you just focus on doing 100 laps, and then you won't know he's going in every paper in country and
Yeah.
slapped everywhere on news and stuff, and you know that's the real reward, I think. Not having like loads of stuff thrown at you at the same
Yeah.
time, but if you're focused on doing something, then reward is people who gonna appreciate it,
Yeah.
share it and stuff, and that's what really makes a difference. You know,
Yeah.
you might raise 50 quid one day, and then social media blows it up and you raise 50,000.
Yeah.
That's the real difference. So I think that's the real great achievement.
Yeah, so that was John. If you want to go to all the charity pages, we'll put them below in the description. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks very much, and thanks very much, mate.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you for your time.